Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, good evening. We like to welcome you to another segment of Sisters in the Sandbox. And today we're going to have it kind of light, but yet political in a sense, and just pretty much getting thoughts on, or views or perspective on the different matters that was already, I guess, Sis had posted in regards to a few things such as death sentence versus life sentence, also as well as
private school
versus public school. And then on next week we'll be talking about
sex offender, and drug offender, and
then I think
because it is
it's that time to vote, as they say, for whom it is that we're voting for.
We will be doing Trump and Biden.
Yes, we'll be elaborating on that. So
next week.
On tonight is basically just getting a feedback on our thoughts on these different matters or issues within the community and different things that you guys or views you all might have in regards to the matter. So, as I always do with my disclaimer, I'm going to put it out here. These are our views, our perspective from our experiences. Everyone has their own experiences that they go through, so don't hold it against us. These are not biblical principles or standards. It's just more or less the things that we have went through and what we experience on a individual basis. Mm-hmm. By all means, feedback is welcome. Thoughts, comments, definitely is welcome. Or your thoughts, as we're talking about on today, the thoughts in regards to the matter that we're talking about. So let's get scooping it up in the sandbox with the sisters.
Okay. So I picked these 6 subjects because I wanted to actually spark a healthy debate because, of course, everybody has their views and their opinions on each of these subjects. What we want to start off first is public school versus private school. And guess who's going to be starting the segment today? Big Sis. Big Sis is going to be starting it today because she told me that she had got some information and then reviewed some information and said that she was going to talk about it when she got here.
Must be a miscommunication of the mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, what information did you get, Sis?
I just got looked at it when I came here.
And that's our big sister for you.
Okay, so what is your view on the public schools versus private schools? Do you think one is better than the other? Like, what is your view?
As I was looking it up, is they saying it's like a real old debate about private and public schools. Like, you're saying who's smarter and everything. But basically, private school, you're just making, paying more money as far as tuition, as far as learning. They're independent. They're not funded by the government. They're
right.
funded, and I read that. See, I read that.
Okay.
They're not funded by the government. Is what they pay in is what you get out. Is basically. And the thing is, it's not, how can I put it? And they were saying about the teachers, about how they teach the kids. The curriculum is different. I feel like it's not like the public schools is on one curriculum. Everybody's doing the same thing, like, everybody,
across the board.
Yeah, everybody's on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas private school, they can venture out and do whatever they want.
They're a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. So
not necessarily.
Basically, they are flexible to the extent as far as their curriculum. Their curriculum.
Like, seriously. No, but I'm saying, seriously, as far as the curriculum, you have to have and go by the same, like, across the whole board. everybody is on the same page as public. Public, for kindergartners, it could be any school that's out there for Wicomico County. Everybody's on the same page.
Supposed to be.
Wicomico, but it's across.
I'm talking about for public schools. Everybody's on the same note.
Curriculum.
Okay.
The curriculum is the same. It's not going to change.
Okay.
It's like you go from one county to the next county. If it's for that grade,
you can add your own twist to it as far as your curriculum, but it's still the same curriculum. You have to write your curriculum, your itinerary as far as your plan for what the kids is going to do. But at the end of the day, everybody's on the same page.
Yes, because it's
for public. Private is not that way.
It's delegated by a board.
Right. That's what I said. Everybody's on the same page.
I look at it as what's more structured versus flexible, because they're independent versus to me. Because sometimes I really view private almost as like a step up from doing homeschooling. Except you don't have the parents doing it. You have actual teachers. And sometimes they don't even have to be certified, the ones that are in private school.
Hey, Sharon.
Whereas when you're in a public setting, they want you to have continued education. You have to update your certification in order to teach the kids to say that you're qualified in that subject that you're teaching. So that's what I think she's more or less talking about. Like, it to me, more or less, it's whatever. Far as a parent, I mean, if I had the money, would I send my kids to private school? Probably. It's all according to your morals, your values, or whatever, what you're more exposed to. The public more or less exposes you to give you an idea of what life is. The private school is almost like living in a sheltered type of lifestyle living, because, like I said, even though they might be flexible, they're more independent. They're not really locked in to where or a certain curriculum as the public, because they have smaller classrooms. They can work with the child more on a one-to-one basis. Versus in the public, they're not going to have that. It's a more, they're more open. It's more day-to-day things of, that they go through.
I see you, Sharon. You said homeschool.
Livings. So, I mean, it goes according to whatever that parent, to me, I can't say what one is more better than the other. They both have their, to me, advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, so what do you believe the advantages are and the disadvantages?
Like I just pretty much stated, there is more flexible far as the private. The advantages, their classes are smaller, so you're a lot more able to focus on, or the teacher, I feel, is able to to be and have a little bit more one-on-one. But you got to understand, though, in private school, they don't have special education. Whereas in private schools, they have a lot. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. They have a lot more special education programs and curriculums geared even for those with special needs and all of that.
Yeah, they don't have that in the
because it's government funded. So whereas private, you got a lot more grants and community leaders and stuff and people that are involved that is funding that. So they have a more independent say. So like I said, to me, it's like a higher class of homeschooling for real.
But there is not diversity.
Drew.
Yes, there is no diversity in the private.
Yes.
Because more or less like, especially if you're going to
like
a religious.
No, it's not.
Not really.
You have some
there,
minorities, and I'm going to call it token.
Token?
Well, why are we calling them token? She calling them token.
Because it's the truth.
What do you mean token?
She calling them token niggas.
Huh?
Tokens.
But they're not tokens. It's just that
but you need to explain yourself.
I explain it because you have to, when you're in a public setting and it's not funded by the government and it's funded by the school or whatever, the people, they're still by law, you still have to have, religious. By law, you still have to have that some of diversity in there. You still have to have some diversity in there. They're not going to have a whole lot, but it's, hey, Aunt Kathy.
Hello all to those that's joining us.
You still have diversity. It's not a lot. Like I said, like public schools, is
you have all ethnic backgrounds.
You know, but in the private, that's what I'm saying. It's diverse.
Diversity is not there.
Right.
It's just fewer in number.
Right.
Because
you
gotta look at the tuition and the cost of it, because not everybody can probably
afford it.
It's not ergonomical.
What is the cost of tuition? Do y'all know? It's anywhere from
$5,000 and more.
No, it's more than. I'm talking about annually. It's anywhere from like $10,000 to like $25,000 a year.
No, I won't be doing.
And just imagine if we, as parents, that send our kids to public school, and that's the thing, there's no tuition needed there. So just imagine if we actually had to pay. I mean, the teachers will probably get their money's worth for going to school to receive their education or higher education, their bachelor's or whatever the case may be in the program. Just imagine if we were in a state where we had to pay for our children to go to school. We really would be working our butts off. The same way that we have to work for the ones that go to college. In a sense, that's
what it is.
Basically what it is. I
mean,
just
okay, wait a
minute.
We got somebody where things about to change with the school system, and I hope it be for the better, especially about tuition, even college tuition.
Yes.
People can't afford to pay.
Yes, because people go in debt. Even when you go to college, you can go into debt with student loans and different things of that magnitude. And my thing is, you know what I'm actually looking at, and what I perceive,
people can't pay for the big change, and real soon, good work, ladies. Thank you.
What I perceive is actually where we're moving towards is virtual learning, and basically I feel school. Basically with us moving into the 5G and modern technology and different things of that magnitude, and with them. It's already starting. I feel like it's already in its beginning stages where we're going to be pretty much doing mostly everything virtual. Like, a lot of things is like, I think it's going to be where we're connect, but we won't have that physical connections because everything is going to more or less turn virtual.
But don't you think that would kind of be a strike against our children if they're not interacting with other children?
Yes.
Besides just on virtual.
I really feel that.
I mean, far as
how to be social, how to communicate.
Because you need that. That you need.
But then you got to look at it. They probably do that when they go outside to play and stuff like that. So it's all in about how you look at it, because then you still have that downtime outside. Like I told a friend of mine today, like I feel with the kids being at home, this is just me, guys. Again, my views. When they're home, it's not a structured environment. So they're more prone to being relaxed, kick back, got the laptop up, and they not really, some are not as focused. As much as you can put like what's them little boards, like for cubicles to try to keep them, dividers to keep them focused. But if it's so much going on, they see other people and other noises from other things that's going on virtually, it's a distraction. It's not a structured environment. So even with going virtual, it's like the new norm everybody's going to have to get used to. Because basically, what's being done in the adult world is kind of pretty much being projected on the younger and the youth of today. Because where we had to take our work home and telework and stuff, we are able to be more, structured to sit there and do the work that's needed. Whereas these younger ones and people that's like my nephews and my sister's grandkids, they're just coming into this and having to be disciplined to be attentive enough to get the instruction as far as whatever that subject or curriculum is for that day, with all the other distractions that's going on outside of them within a home environment that they are normally usually relaxed in.
But do you think that the children, like in the virtual setting, that they're getting the same amount of time, information of education or of the curriculum that they would get if they were inside the school institution?
Do what? Do you think they get the same
amount of time?
They don't even get that one-on-one, really. And
I
think
not so necessarily the one-on-one. I mean,
because I feel like they don't get that undivided attention, really.
If they're not getting the same time. Like, I don't know. All of our children are out of high school, so I'm not sure. Maybe you guys out there can let me know how many hours do the high school and middle school students get on
I think
a
it's changing though.
day-to-day
If I'm not
basis.
mistaken.
How many hours do they get? Whereas they had 7 to 8 hours of education.
I think that's been condensed to even a shorter time frame.
Donald, we see it, but we have, what is it, Avis?
I can't see it.
Okay, but what I want to say is it's so hard for kids now with this social distancing in the virtual school thing. Is a lot of kids are having trouble with that. I know most of my friends sent these kids back to school.
And it's even harder because you have some parents who
because he was failing.
Wow. Because their attention span is everybody's attention span is not the same. And it makes it harder because, like, again, I said, if you're in an environment used to, okay, if a student
suitable
is at school,
for learning.
Yeah, suitable for learning. If they're in an environment is a little bit more structured than if a person goes home. When they get off home, they thinking I'm going to get my snack. Let me sit down, and they focus. They might do their homework. Nobody is like pretty much supervising them. They just work at their own pace. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's probably what they feel right now during this virtual point right now. But
yeah, my
that's what they're missing. I think that's why they have the options. But some people have to utilize the options because there is no other, resources to make sure that they receive and get the knowledge and get the understanding and get the curriculum and be able to, retain it, understand it. And I mean, I just hope it just doesn't set them up for failure because I don't want like they said, I really don't want a child left behind.
I want to say this because like she said, I have grandkids that's coming into this virtuality, basically like homeschool. And my daughter opted because they had a choice. She opted to keep them home, and that's her choice. Yeah. I understand. And see, they're just starting. They're literally at kindergarten. Yes. So I can understand how she's feeling. But if they were like first grade, like I would like go ahead and say like push her on it. Like, I would get her because the kids need, like she's saying, structure. They have structure. They have structure at home as well. Not saying she don't have structure, but it's just like I see how my grandkids are in the morning when they do virtual learning because I have them once a week or whatever, and their learning is they're very laid. They lax. Really? Like they don't really. I had to tell them participate. And then you got to hear the teachers unmute, mute, unmute, mute, unmute, mute. And I understand it's new, and then so where the kid, they're trying to and where the kids usually. I understand that, but the kids is usually like playing with each other, interacting with each other, learning each other. Yeah. And then usually a teacher would be like, I'm waiting for my friends. Fingers on your lips. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big change. Yes. Big change. But for me, I feel when they're first grade, they need to go back. They really need to go back.
I don't know if y'all have been informed, but Wacomico schools are heading towards or leaning towards having the children return back to school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did see that. They actually started the process is supposed to start today, 19.
Mm-hmm. No, yesterday was 19.
Yesterday, I'm sorry, I'm thinking yesterday.
So I know that there's going to be some
K through 5,
some parents that feel that their children's going to be safe. Of course, it's up to the school to inform and show the parents so they feel safe of letting their children return back to school. Of course, social distancing, so it's going to be fewer numbers in the classroom. I don't know how that's going to work for the children who are younger because they're so used to playing and having recess. How are they going to social distance? Like that is going to be one of the biggest issues.
So we're gonna get a couple of feedback.
We trying to keep up.
Is this Aaron?
It says, I do not believe they're getting the same education as they would get if they were in school setting.
Correct. And that's what we're kind of looking at, because that's
Donald is saying, but I want to know what's funny is if we are doing virtual school back in the day, we would love it. We would.
Yes, because it's like the technology. And I think that's the other thing. The pros. And that was something that we spoke on a while back, wasn't it, sis? When we talk about the pros and cons of technology itself and how it could either, progress or how it can also hinder us. And right now, it can progress because that's the times that we're moving and we're shifting into that direction. However, with everything, and as everything, there's trial and error. You have your pros and your cons. So one of the disadvantages, unfortunately, when we're going virtual, again, is because of the interaction. Like, they're going to miss out on real one-on-one intimate connection. I mean,
but a lot of people have been doing that anyway. Let's just say that. And why I say that is because 9 times out of 10, when you see people on phones at restaurants, anywhere,
we're
they're
coming
like this
disconnect anyway.
On our phones.
We really don't even know how to engage and hold a complete conversation. Like, that's some of the things that we did as a family. If we go to eat out, put your phones and stuff down. Like, do you even know how to carry a conversation? We know how to do it well on the internet, emojis and everything. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. Like, I'm a quick texter before I talk to you on the phone because I'm like this. I'm a type of person. I am one of substance. Now, all that surface talk and stuff and all that, I'll say hi, good morning, whatever, but I don't really engage too much in the surface talking. Now, if it's talking about something in depth and substance, I'm going in and I'm passionate. But however, I feel like the technology hindrance part is it keeps us from being able to actually engage and know how to properly actually sit down and engage with one another on a more intimate and personal level to get to know someone.
Well, this is, I find it kind of, I'm not going to say ironic, but I do believe, when Sister Tasha's My Comical Day School, they stayed in school the whole entire time. Still in school right now. So, I don't know what their ratio was for as one of their children contracting the coronavirus. I'm not sure. That's something that definitely, I have to look up.
It is true. I agree. Tina said, I understand everything is virtual and these kids are swift. Electronics is the
They come out already ready. And look at the toys are even
But you gotta blame the parents
more guided.
For that, you gotta blame the parents for that.
The toys are more guided. Look at
the you can't say that.
Yes, you can. Because
look at the little toys.
You can't just say that.
What's them toys?
I'm going to say that because that's the truth.
learning.
Who's giving them these technologies?
We buy it. We all
exactly.
We've been there. Even the learning toys. What's the learning toys with the learning books and stuff? Those are, to me, that's like the small steps into electronics. Yes, different stuff of that. Those are electronic equipment. Those are modern technology. These
One
are
more
things.
thing. We trying to keep up with y'all.
Yes, I'm trying to keep up with the feedback. I can't read from back.
Okay, it says one more thing. Let's talk about kids still going to school hungry and not having a nutrition that I need that is so important. Kids are still going to school hungry.
Now, that's the thing. That is a problem, but also please look into your schools because there are schools and stuff that are out here where you actually have to drive out to the school and pick up the breakfast and the lunch.
And you just said that, didn't you?
You have to be able to get up and go out.
A couple weeks ago.
But then again, you got to look at the schedule. Does that allow them to be able to do that? Is it conducive? Is it convenient? They will have to leave their homes to go. I'm saying this again, trial by error. They're trying to do the best that they can because we don't want to knock the programs that are out here because they do have it available. But the thing is it convenient? Is it accessible? Does it work and conducive with that family's environment? You have a 2-parent home, single parent home. You have people who might not get home until in the morning. So the thing is, even though these resources are available, like the breakfasts and the lunch, they have to drive out to go get those resources and bring them back to the environment in which they're in. And then the thing is, do they have the time to actually give this to the children? For those that are like of underage, of course, the older ones are more able and prone to getting it done. But we're talking about, look at the ones that have, and especially if they're in you have multiple children that you're working with. I mean, it can become a little bit problematic. I would say problematic for me. I would believe. Thank God my children are out of school. That's what I pray for the ones that.
Well, I say thank God, but I got grandkids, so
you got to understand the difference between public and private, because with private, yeah, of course, you're paying tuition. And I told you the tuition could be anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 a year for one student. So, of course, they are funded not by the government; they're funded by religious and non-affiliate groups or sectors. So their teachers do not get paid like public school teachers get paid. That's number one.
Exactly.
Okay. But they also, across the board, whether private or public, they have the same teaching strategies. Not all the teachers at private schools are credentialed or certified.
I read that too.
Yes.
So
that's why I said they don't have to be as certified.
And Mr. Davis, you are asking legit questions.
And it's nothing wrong. And we're here to help one another.
Miss Tina, food is available. Sometimes it does not work. Who is getting the food for the kids? Parents are working. That's what I just elaborated and stated on. Like, is it conducive to that environment, that family's environment? What's going on? Because it could be a single parent. I mean, they could be getting off of work, and it's like you got to factor that. That's why I said sometimes this is when we really got to fall on our tribe, look at the support system and who we can get involved to make this actually flow. Because I even have a friend, and I talk to her from time to time, who's going through the different various things, and it even affects the work and your work environment when you're trying to make sure that your child is straight. But these are the things that we're experiencing. They go to school.
Public transportation, but you have in the private sector, you have the parents dropping them off.
Yeah, I can't.
So they can take their lunch to school.
So it's like I said, it's pros and cons to both of them. Truthfully, it is. It really is.
But I believe, to me, the learning, I've seen where some of the learning is a tad bit more different. Their scores are a little higher than the public school. I've seen it. I was looking it up where to me, all it comes down to is to the parent what they can and cannot afford. Basically, I'd rather be in public school. Me per se, and my kids did public school. I don't see no harm in it. I mean, and the private school, does it make them better than we are? I don't think so.
We got talking so much about this private and public. We still want to hit because
wait a minute. We have two more. Well, I think,
while she's reading that, go ahead and read it.
It says, well, I thank God my kids are grown, but if I had to send my kids to school now, I really think that I would just really keep them at home and do it myself. That's just how I feel.
And it's basically almost, that's why I said, even with the virtual learning, I mean, it's basically, and that's what basically to me, private school is.
But Tina says
homeschooling. But we definitely, it's a lot that we can actually delve into and dive into and get into in depth in regards to this, because everything is new, and nobody knows a sure answer to the new wave of everything that's going on, the new transitioning of the school and the learning. It's not even just the children. You got to look at the teachers and what they have to endure far as their curricular plans and stuff that they have to put out and gather. And keep in mind if they're going to school. So it's like added stuff on their plate. So there's all types of things that we have to factor in.
Okay, 1 second. Tina says, but realize the parents are getting additional food stamps to feed the children. They have to change the way they are feeding their children. Definitely, but not everybody gets food stamps either. Because you do have some well-to-do people who chooses to send their children to public schools.
Exactly.
They do. They need to have a plan. Parents, we do.
And then the thing is to make sure they're getting nutrition, because at school, you know, they also, dietary wise, they have another agenda, more structured way in which the stuff healthy. Food that are more healthy, geared towards the children. Eating. And at home, of course, everybody's going to be relaxed and eat what they like and stuff. So and then it's like being active, as far as getting the gym and stuff that they need. So I mean, it is a lot. And it's new, and I know it's like as you go, you learn as you go, and like I said, trial and error. They're going to see what they can do, the resources. We learn, and we fail, and we learn. We learn through the mistakes to know. So whatever we're going through, I'm sure if it carries into the next school year, they're going to be a little bit more.
I just want to know what hybrid is, though. Really,
hybrid is that you have one class, you have one meeting, one face-to-face with your teacher, and the rest is on virtual
learning. Oh. Yes.
So, what's hybrid? I'm sorry, I'm learning too, man. I'm doing it with my grandkids.
Look, this is what I say. You learn something new every day. If you remain,
I wasn't getting anything.
Everyone
I didn't get anything. If anything, I had to do omission to get.
I didn't get my card.
I had to do omission just to get produced.
Put it out there, Miss Tina. I ain't get my card. I got the money, didn't get the card. Like, what's up with that?
My children are finished and completed school.
Because I'm with the grandkids and I got to feed grandkids. Now I was just told that instead of getting them on at 8:20, we got to get them on at 7:30 now. Like, what?
That's why I was saying the process has begun.
I'm apply again. Oh, trust me.
You got to get them on 7:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was telling you the process started changing.
You got to also think weren't they getting up early?
True.
To go to school?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm gonna apply again. I'm gonna apply again.
But either way,
I'm really trying to get used to
at the end of the
virtual instead of just dropping them off. But like you said, Avis, I really might look that into that because I feel like Raya could go and get lunch now that she's really literally living down the street from the school.
She can probably
get the lunch available to her. And they got lunch numbers, and they can go get the lunch.
Yes.
How about that? That's a resource.
Yes. The thing is tapping into those resources and know what is out there for you.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly.
But however, I do believe that the school should already have resources listed to the parents of where they can go and how their children
to get there and then it is the factor in what they can do to make it a little bit more conducive, to make it easier for that parent to be able to provide and get that meal or whatever to that child or the children.
Yeah, but they're trying to make it where that it doesn't change, significantly from school. But of course, it's going to because number one, you're home.
Yes.
So the structure, no matter what, you don't know. And see, that's another thing with public schools. Most of the children in public schools, they go through their environment is different. Okay, we want to just put that out there than those who go to private school because they have challenges as where they stay at economically. So it could be very taxing in the environment, not safe. And sometimes the parents and the children or middle schools, high schools, they take that time going to school as, just to get out of their situation that they're in.
I agree.
Some do actually do that to get away because it's the same thing. I'm going to tell you, just to throw it out there, just to put some light on the situation. It's the same to say, like, if you have a husband and wife that works, to me, I feel, just me, I had to throw it out there relationship-wise. I want to be able to miss that person. I don't want to be going to work and I see him, and then I see him at home too. We need that downtime. So it's the same. I
agree with what you said, but money is money. You gotta put food on the table. You gotta pay.
If need be, but I mean, it gives you time to separate and downtime to get yourself adjusted, to regroup and come back. And most times, some parents did utilize that as a means to get their day-to-day activity, daily living done, which also involved them doing what they needed for their children, whether it meant they had to go to the grocery store. They had downtime to go to the grocery store, do the shopping, and get it back to the house. So like I said, it's like pros and cons to this matter. So it's like they were able to take care, paying the bills and stuff, not worrying about it. But now with it all factoring within our own personal home and our own environment, and it's more intimate, I think it's probably a lot harder for them to deal.
But I will say that they're compounding a bigger issue here as far as the COVID-19 and returning, letting the children return back to school, because I feel no matter how they,
what preventive measures
are
in place or implemented,
we're
still subject to
and see, which I don't understand is the high school don't want to go, but they put the K through 5, and K through 5 is more prone to getting like the flu or the disease. You know,
and that's crazy because this is flu season.
Yeah,
so people don't know if it's the flu or if it's COVID because they have similar symptoms.
Really, and that's why my daughter decided to keep my twins home, my grandsons home,
because their immune system is very weak.
Very weak. So I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And children to school. Yes, a lot of parents are scared to send their children to school. Mm-hmm. And this is the key thing. And I know it seems cliche. They're more prone. The younger ones are more prone. Because
why would you send the younger ones?
They're not geared on why do we have to social distance. They're not geared as why we got to wear this mask.
And they're quick to take the mask off.
So their attention span is not going to be there. Like
this is like losing a hat and glove and mittens. Like.
Mm-hmm. You know they're gonna take it off, lose it, come back with one.
Like and that's all they're gonna say. Put your mask on. You're gonna take time because they twirling with the mask. Like really, y'all, really. That's what I'm saying. And the high school opted not to go, but I felt like the high school should have went first because they more mature to keep the mask on than the little ones. The little ones is not.
But you also have. You have high schoolers and middle schoolers who also have asthma, who have underlying health issues that it can become a problem.
Yes, you know what I mean? And you talk about
school bus windows.
About that. And that's the other thing. Send them on a bus with their social distance. You have to space them out.
Yeah, how are they going to do that?
Wait a minute.
How would they do that?
Hold up. I was in class because I'm a part of the bus system. And from what the big man said, which he is right, like the school bus is more ventilated, and I did not know that. Like because you have the two hatches,
and they have the fans,
and it filters, and then you have all those windows that we have, and you can put them down.
But then you figure, what about when it gets winter time? It's cold and things.
They said that you have to keep the
proper ventilation. They will prevent it.
Yes,
because of how it can grow. It's with anything.
Where did they get the statistics from?
That's what they were saying, that the buses.
It's a lot of things to factor in regards.
It is.
And
this is true. They are sending special needs and smaller children first. I agree.
Yes. The thing is,
it's
a praying time. We just have to stay prayed up. Like I said, everything is
the worst ones.
I don't think
they're
the special needs should go.
No.
I really don't think
they definitely have underlying issues.
Yes,
they're prone. No.
But I do want to get to the point because what is it? Like
he
15
said
minutes?
Snotty nose. Lord. Snotty running nose fever.
But far as our perspective, we're going to conclude on this end because we want to jump into the death penalty and life sentence.
I want to say this. Okay, as far as public and private school, I do want to say this. It's up to the parents where they choose to send.
Touch and agree.
Where they choose to send their child.
It's
what they
up
feel
to you
is
at the end of the
best
day.
for their child. You can go public, you can go private, you can do homeschool. It's whatever you feel is best for your child.
Your home.
Exactly. And what lines up with what's conducive with your home and what you do and how you go about and what's convenient for you.
Yeah.
So no one can knock the other. No one's better than the other.
But I just say for the ones that really can't afford private school, why would you bust your butt if you can't afford it? I know you feel that you're getting them. It's just like if you
the education that they need.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's worse than when you're going to college. I'd rather bust my butt to get them into college than, to get them up. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because again, our views and our perspectives.
Yeah.
So that was that on the private sector versus the public sector of schooling.
That was deep.
And just with the new ongoing, let's just say, transitioning far as children going back to school with the COVID pandemic.
Right.
But our prayers are in place for the children as well as the parents and the teachers because it's new for each and every one.
Definitely.
And each and every one has their own different things that they're going to have to actually deal with and cope with because it's new for all of us.
Yeah, there's some hesitancy going on.
Yes, it is.
Definitely.
On all
some
across
doubt.
the board.
Yeah.
Yes, but we got to walk. We gotta
be mindful.
This too shall pass.
Be safe.
Yes.
That's all I can say about that situation.
Yes.
No, y'all knew
all the preventative measures that you can.
You still can contract, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just still try to use good wisdom, knowledge, understanding of what it is, and please, because some people can throw out some stuff about this COVID and don't have the least good idea. And sometimes you can overly consume yourself with it that you get overly obsessed with it and become so compulsed with it that is the more and more you try, you wind up preventing yourself or more or less getting it, contracting it. So the thing is not to operate in the spirit of fear, but just
you got to look at it as like the flu season. It's going to be a season where it dies down. So I believe the government is trying to find out what is the peak season, what is our high season, or whatever. I believe that's what's going on.
And then that's how they're going to come about with this vaccine.
Our vaccine, just like the flu.
Exactly. But moving forward, because we could be stuck there all day. And we don't want to get stuck in that. We're moving forward. No. In the meantime, in between time, now we want to take a look at our thoughts and perspectives and views in regards to the death penalty versus a person who might be sentenced to jail for life. I did a paper back in school, and I actually received an A on it. Because the view or perspective that I came from in regards to this subject is that for me, I guess it was more or less I took the spiritual route. Because for me, morally, I really don't really care for the death penalty. And the death penalty does cost a lot more, which people don't even know.
Yes, it does.
The thing is, to me, and I mean, I went in depth with this thing. Because my thing is, what if you have people who's now being exonerated for things that they were accused of? So then I would have to feel that I have death on my hands of somebody that possibly could have been exonerated and was not even properly accused because of misinformation. And that's the thing why they say guilt until proven innocent.
No, it's not that anymore.
Or some everything can be circumstance.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Guilty until proven
innocent until proven guilty, but it's changed.
But that was my thing. I came from a spiritual standpoint because my thing is nobody, as far as I'm concerned, is judging Jira except God himself. And God himself on Judgment Day, I feel, unless that person, because that's the other thing, I came from it spiritually, if they repent of those things, sometimes the choices that we make puts us in those places, but then that when they get into that place, they can become institutionalized, and therefore they have limited restrictions. Sometimes people look at it, they get the benefits of a good meal and all that, but there's still restrictions and things that they have within, the system. And
some people don't know how to forgive,
and that's one of the things too. What? So my thing is, I really would prefer that the person do life. Because they have more time. I'm going to say the reason being was that I said they have more time to set in with and resonate with the crime or whatever it is that they done. Because to me, it's like a quick fix if we go straight to the death penalty. And not only is it a quick fix, but it's an expensive quick fix.
Well, let me just say
sometimes some people sit there for a period of time.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this about the death penalty
what you said,
and life
Mr.
sentence.
Davis.
You have people who have committed murder that's serving life, and then you have some people who committed murder who's facing the death
penalty,
death sentence. Okay, and yes, they try to over the course of the past 15 years, the death penalty or the people on death row has basically died down. But those who are on life without parole or have life sentence, that has went up. So I know it's hard.
I'm gonna put this out here.
I know
because Mr. Davis said something. So I'm gonna put it because I agree with y'all saying we have to forgive. So with that being said,
we gotta put ourselves in their shoes.
Yes.
If it was our mother,
if it was our mom,
father,
if it was our children,
when it becomes personal,
doesn't it? Yes.
I'm gonna say
and that
this.
That is a hard tool to do, to forgive.
Because I did look this up. We're not one of the states that do
the death
penalty.
Maryland
anymore. So
doesn't acknowledge us.
Yes. So with that being said, it will take me a long time and I'm going to say a long time to say, I forgive you. But if it was like, because that you're taking someone so dear to me, precious to me, that is my life, my world. So, yeah.
I know for a fact that if someone was to kill either one of my family, I know this is recorded. This is recorded. If anybody
she be in there.
I'll be in there where? Where would I be?
Right there with them.
She's not.
She ain't playing.
I'm not playing.
She's not playing.
It's not, and I know it's wrong.
Yeah, but you just said forgive.
That's what I just said. I said we gotta forgive. But like you said, it's going to take a while. And when you see somebody, you go into the courtroom and then you see them and you hear how the brutality and just the goriness of how their loved one was killed.
I watched.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely flying over that petition. I definitely would.
Sometimes I watch like Fatal Attraction. I do not sometimes, all the times.
I love it. ID channel is
women, they're when they get passionate, that when they start mutilating and they're like really
mutilating.
Yes, they be cutting up.
Decapitated, mutilating.
Okay, because that's a crime of passion.
Yes.
Sometimes,
most of the time, and it's like they're always saying, if I can't have you, nobody else will. Yes. And that's basically sad.
We have to be careful of the type of man telling, because you never know what a person is going through, and they're acting out of emotions. And that's the thing. That's why I said sometimes we have to look at, because some people are suffering from different, disorders and attachment issues and different things of that nature, and that crime of passion, and it is sending them. That's why I said, to me, I feel I would rather that person to sit and think about and resonate with, they give them time to even think, because just putting them to death is a quick fix. To me, if you put them in and do the life, they have the possible parole, because there is no price, there is no time on a person's life that is gone. That's the first thing we have to understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like this. I really still don't want to be judge and juror over that person's life by having that life in my hand.
Yes.
What
about you? What is your
I agree with you, Donald. I see what you said about the victim. You feeling how we're feeling.
Reading feedback from Mr. Donald Davis.
Yes. So
yes, thank you.
So with that being said,
because sometimes you have to look at from even the families of the ones that have put
I already told you how. Let me give you information.
Because if it's...
Wait a minute. Let me give you information.
I don't know.
There has been several cases where those who were on death row, inmates were released because, well, I'm going to say they were released. They were released to the hospital, but most of them had passed away due to the COVID because they already had underlying issues.
Oh, the comorbidities, yeah.
So they had mental health issues, and then they were just not being treated or had the proper treatment that they needed in order to sustain them, I guess, while they're in there. And of course, somebody on the outside looking in, especially if somebody had hurt your family or your loved one, like, you know what I mean? The hell with them. They're gonna, you know what I mean? I'm being honest. That's the very first real emotion. The hell with them. Why care? They're supposed to be dying anyway. But again, however, I want to talk reality here.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is they still are a citizen, and the government is still getting paid for them.
Would I ask
you? But the government also is. I don't know. At the institution itself, they still getting free resources. They still getting free help from the institutions, because they get it's like labor, easy labor for the ones. But for the ones that actually, I'm talking about for like less offenses when you come to whether you use drugs, go to jail for drugs, versus somebody who's murdered.
Yeah,
talking about
that's a lighter sentence.
Oh, lighter sentences. But we're talking more or less life and death of those that might have committed murders and
you have people, but you have people who have killed people who had life sentence, and not only life sentence, they had astronomical numbers. Like, how are they going to serve 4 life sentences? How? Life sentence. What is a life sentence?
Is 25 years.
They
consider life 25 years.
They had done changed it now. They consider life. No. They considered life sentence for anywhere from 15 years.
Oh, they reduced it
to 30 years.
I agree, because I know before it was 25 across the boards, where they would consider a life, lifespan. Are you all right, Steve? But that was one of the things that's my only issue in regards as far as the death penalty is, like, I don't spiritually sense speaking. I'd rather for them to sit.
I believe it would.
Versus the quick fix.
It would change though. Your feelings would change. I'm saying because we all special.
If it happened to mommy or one of our children,
if it would happen to one of our kids, you would not be spiritual. You'd be like, "Oh, honey, you."
Because of that moment. Because of that.
It's going to be more than a moment, sis. That's going to be for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Because of that moment, your
children are here.
You got to know. And see, that's the thing, like you said, you got to put yourself in people's shoes and to understand, because once it happened to you,
personally,
your view can definitely change
on it.
Mine wouldn't change. It's going to change. It's going to stay the same. I don't believe in death penalty. However, I do believe in,
she is her mother's child when it says in the Bible.
A heart for a heart.
And a tooth for a tooth.
A hand for a hand.
So you believe in the get back, like Tom Bird said, the get back.
Because I can be forgiven for murder too. So I'm being real. I'm being so real.
Oh Lord!
Because the thing of it is,
angry. Who just said angry face?
the situation is, because I know how I am about my family. Period. Anyway. So if somebody was to, you know what I mean, I would try to compose myself as much as I can. I'm being very honest with you right now.
Because we want that retribution. We want that vengeance, because then at that point in time,
we want
them to feel the way that we're feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's
I don't want them to feel how I'm feeling.
That's basically what you're doing. You're going after them.
I want them to feel how my loved one's feeling.
Loved one,
and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's how. You're right. I want definitely. I definitely want them to find out.
But then you'll be in jail.
Yep.
So then where would that happen?
Put money on my books. I don't play them games. I'm not playing them games.
But we get there. But
she is literally being
serious. But she's
serious.
telling the truth.
She is serious.
Yeah, me and myself.
We're laughing, but she
is
serious. She's,
as they say, it's the truth.
Serious.
But
she's serious. Don't mess with the family.
I'll be loading it up.
We don't want her to.
Please use this as evidence if anything happens.
But the thing is,
I'm not playing.
That's why I said it's always good to just know your environment. And different things happen unforeseen.
So
we can't control.
I'm gonna say this: the ones that I feel like first time charges, like for petty things, like the drug.
Yeah, because I wanted to elaborate on that.
We'll
next
do
week.
that on next.
But yes, you do have those who were
petty
committed.
And getting 15, 16 for first time offenders is crazy.
No, like drug offenses.
They ridiculous.
They get life sentence
for some crazy man.
Crazy.
Well, we're going to talk about that on next week. We'll continue with
it's still crazy.
This thought, because we have.
But I'm weighing in the water on that one. I'm with baby sis. I'm with baby sis, but I don't think I would kill anybody. I would just, and I'm not saying that.
One of my things is never say never.
I'm not saying that I would not
you actually find yourself in that
person. But if you took my loved one,
flesh and blood,
blood
of my blood, bones of my bones, flesh of my flesh.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
It's hard to say how one would react. We know we would definitely feel some type of way. but it would be hard for. But most people will want to retaliate. Most people will want to go after and get them to feel what
some
you're
people
feeling.
will. They're not going to want to. They will.
They'll try to. They'll try to find ways. But the thing is, God, trust me. Like I tell anybody, when it says in the Word of God, that same ditch you dig, the same thing you have to, unless you repent of that thing and it's a hard thing to do. Easier said than done. Forgiven and all that, but yes, that will be one of the
God forgives us, so we have to forgive
So
them.
that's what I'm going to be definitely counting on, that God will forgive me.
So you go with the intentions.
But she
basically said,
she will be
She will be first degree, second degree. She will be all
premeditated. I'm trying to tell you.
Exactly.
Don't touch none of mine. None of mine. None. Don't do it.
She basically saying in advance, God, give me in advance confessions.
Please.
Avis. But you can't say that because that's,
you're definitely going to record it. So the next time somebody come up missing, you be the first one they going to look up.
Let them. Right. That's why I'm recording.
Look, everybody looking. Did you check Avis?
Let's go to her house first.
Come. I'll be waiting.
She'll probably show them the way.
I believe everybody on here that know
Avis. She will sit there and wait for you to come.
Yeah.
I'm not playing the games about my family. None. Absolutely.
We laughing about it now, but sometimes it is a sensitive and it is a serious matter.
Yes, it is. It really is.
But some of our reactions will be.
And we'll get into that next week.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, I don't know if I could. It'll take me a minute, though.
I think it would probably, with anybody, your mind is not going to be thinking about forgiveness right then and there. Your mind is definitely going to be on wanting revenge or retaliation and different things of that magnitude. Because the thing is, you're going to be going out because you want that person to feel the pain that you're feeling for your loss of your loved one.
Exactly.
So it's going to be hard to actually set in something like that. That's why I said I'd rather for them to sit and resonate than to sit there and take their life and boom, boom, boom. No, you take some time.
But you know what? Some people can say, some people would say, well, I know my mother. I know my sisters. They would say, well, Avis, let the system handle
this job.
Yeah. Let justice prevail. I don't know who Justice is. I know who Avis is.
But that time.
But don't you serve a God?
Okay.
We're gonna.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Y'all see it. Y'all see it.
Yes, I serve a God.
Donna,
I serve the love and true God.
I asked you ladies, did you go to church? Wait a minute. He said, I asked you ladies, did you go to church Sunday? And she said, yes. Then I asked her, did you get fed? Then she said, they didn't have no macaroni and cheese.
You know what? I'm going to do that one day. We're going to do a topic about the reason some people go to church. Some people do go to church just to eat or after singing, but you're supposed to there to get the word, save your soul. And everybody's wearing, you get a whole lot, big, great turnout.
Thank you for that joke. Thank you.
Oh my God.
But that's something to look at, though. That is definitely something to look at. But again, we're coming to that time where we have to wrap things up. It has been very enlightening.
She's trying to hurt people.
We definitely have enjoyed ourselves with you guys. We thank you for all your feedback. Do know there's a second part to this on next week. We'll be talking about drug offenders versus sex offenders. As far as their timing and all and sentencing. Not only that, then we will conclude with given the fact that it's that time to vote, talking about Trump and Biden.
Wow.
In regards as far as who you
we gotta vote, y'all. We gotta go. I'm gonna do an early vote. I'm doing early voting. Vote. We gotta do it, y'all. We gotta do it.
Guys, our YouTube channel is up. Please
subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe.
This video will be downloaded to our
subscribe
YouTube
and
channel.
share.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
It's called Sisters in the Sandbox.
Where your views matter.
Yes, your views do matter. No matter how big, small, in between, or indifferent.
Yes.
Thank you.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. So, aside from that, we thank you for joining us this evening for a segment
Thank
of
you
Sisters
all.
in the Sandbox.
Thank you.
And we'll catch
Get
you.
out there and vote, people. We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Catch you on next week. Good
Good
night,
night.
guys.